Also tonight, cold weather health alerts as temperatures plummet across the UK.
The new year may have just begun, but in the UK, 2025 is already off to a pretty stormy start. Quite literally, the UK is facing severe weather conditions, and Met Office yellow warnings for snow and ice have been issued for much of England and Wales and parts of Scotland over the course of 3 days. Well, with me now is Louise Lear from BBC Weather. And Louise, how likely is it we're going to see some snow over the next few days?
We will see some snow. The disruption is going to be really difficult to try to pinpoint, and so people are going to have to really keep abreast of the forecast.
Well, here, wintry weather warnings have come into force for parts of the country tonight as a cold snap sets in. The UK Health Security Agency says elderly people are at particular risk, with temperatures plunging as low as -8. It follows heavy rain that's already brought flooding and some travel disruption. This evening, snow and ice warnings will last into tomorrow before England and Wales brace for heavy snow and freezing rain on Saturday. And by Sunday, most of Britain will be under yellow weather warnings.
Flooding has caused significant disruption in northwest England, forcing people to abandon their homes and causing problems on the roads and railways. Greater Manchester Police declared a major incident and mountain rescue teams were deployed to help and the fire and rescue service. More than 80 flood warnings remain in force across the UK.
I'm in Greater Manchester, where a major incident was declared yesterday. Here in Stockport, the water was waist high and this building had to be evacuated.
I tell you what, sorry
Yeah.
to interrupt, you can't ignore that picture behind you. Is that recent? It's absolutely, I mean, the sky's absolutely stunning. Where's that?
Beautiful colours, isn't it? Yes, it's actually from last night. For those who, of course, missed out on fireworks, we had our own special, spectacular display taking place above the sky above us overnight, right across the country, even as far south as part of the Midlands. We saw scenes like this. Of course, always best viewed from a camera, but the Aurora Borealis was out. If you were out there managing to capture it, though, you had to wrap up well because it was blooming cold out there, and it is cold out there this morning as well. Indeed, yeah, we swapped away the rain. That's the good news, at least, to a dry and sunny day. But as you saw there with Jessica, and indeed here in Derbyshire, frost and ice is to issue this morning across many parts of the UK. This weekend, though, they could see a bit of snowfall. In fact, some could see scenes like this, especially over the hills. A lot to play for this weekend's forecast. Things may change. This is how it stands at the moment. Now, southern counties of England and Wales, after a little bit of snow Saturday evening, it's going to be mainly rain here. But through the weekend, we could start to see that disruptive snowfall for a time. North Wales, North Midlands, Northern England, up to a foot of snow on the hills before it turns back to rain with the risk of flooding. And then that snowfall was extending across parts of Scotland and also in parts of Northern Ireland quite extensively too. Lots changes said. We will keep you updated here on BBC Breakfast. Out there this morning, it's about the frost and the ice. A cold start in Bradford, cold start for many, in fact, with Met Office warnings, yellow warnings, all the way from North Wales, North Midlands, northwards. Snowfall added into the mix in northern Scotland, where we'll continue to see some further snow flurries push in.
It is definitely more wintry, isn't it? I saw what you did there. Did we all see what Matt did there, or was it just... OK, you just about got away with it until I told you that I saw what you did there. You were just rehearsing, because there's a lot of weather happening, isn't there?
There is indeed, yes. Much wintry look to our weather over the next few days.
Yes, Anna, and we didn't have to wait very long into the new year before we had a real sharp cold snap. It's certainly with us today, isn't it? And for some, that's bringing a taste of snow across northern Scotland.
And as it nudges into the colder air overhead, there is the risk of some sleet and some snow. Now, there is a widespread, broad brush Met Office weather warning in force.
There are some beautiful sights as well, Chris.
Yes, we had a visit from the Aurora Borealis last night, Anna. The Aurora doing its very best to match the colour of my tie. It was a particularly strong event. Charged particles that left the sun a few days ago started hitting the Earth's atmosphere, and these colours that you can see are all down to the interactions of those charged particles with oxygen and nitrogen in the atmosphere. You could even see it into Dundee. The best of seeing it, or best chance of seeing it, you certainly need a camera or a mobile phone for that.
Hello again, good evening. Well, Well, it's been a very mild, cloudy, wet and windy Christmas and New Year. It's all changed now as we get into January. It's going to be feeling colder. We've got some snow on the way, albeit pretty briefly on Saturday, but also some frosty mornings as well.
Lots to tell us.
Oh, loads to tell you. Let's start with the good news. Cold, crisp and sunny. What a glorious winter's day it has been today for all of us. Yesterday's frontal system that brought the wet and windy weather, well, that's off to the Alps. It's bringing a lot of snow at the moment. Behind it, opened the door for this cold Arctic air. This little weather front as well, that's brought some snow showers. It's been settling, as you can see, across the routes in Highland as well.
And that picture doesn't express how cold it was today.
It was today, but yeah, it was cold. And Alice, it's only going to get colder, honestly. There's no pleasing somebody, is there? I prefer the blue sky than the grey that we had over Christmas. Anyway, the blue sky, the sunshine's going to stay with us for a couple of days, but you've probably heard a bit of a rumour that we might see some of the white stuff. Don't get too excited, but if you do live in Hertfordshire and Buckinghamshire, first thing on Saturday morning, you might see a light dusting of snow, but it will turn quickly back to rain as milder air is going to flood its way in.
Hello to you again. A very good evening. Cold, clear and crisp, the theme in the next 24 hours. Freezing, frosty, icy nights as temperatures fall, with brighter skies in the next couple of days. Some welcome winter sunshine out there, but with the cold Arctic air, numerous warnings in place for both ice and snow.
Hello. Well, it's felt pretty bitter outside today, given the brisk north-northwesterly winds. But despite the cold air, the brisk winds, many of us have had blue skies and sparkling visibility, lots of sunshine. There have been a few, though, that have seen different weather, and across northern Scotland, a bit more snow here. The road's already looking quite tricky in places, and there's more snow to come over the next 24 hours as these bitter north-northwesterly winds continue to drag in the Arctic air across the UK. Now, weather-wise, overnight tonight, we've got a little weather front that's going to be bringing a few more centimetres of snow to Scotland, particularly the hills. Around coastal areas, you're more likely to see a mix of rain and some sleet. It's going to be another cold night with a widespread and sharp frost. That means we're likely to see some icy stretches as we head into Friday morning, particularly across the northern half of the UK, where those showers have fed in through the night. Now, away from that, many areas starting cold and frosty. Another sparkling day for England and Wales, lots of blue skies and sunshine. That said, there is a great chance of showers working into North Wales, North West England and the Isle of Man on these northwesterly winds as they work through the Irish Sea. Another cold day, temperatures quite widely 2 to 4 degrees Celsius. Heading into the weekend, we start off on a cold and frosty note. Saturday sees a veil of clouds spilling across England and Wales. That traps cold air near the surface. Temperatures really struggling, 2 or 3 degrees. Brighter for Scotland and Northern Ireland with a mixture of sunshine and wintry showers. But then, as we go through Saturday night into Sunday and Monday, this area of low pressure is set to bring some areas of the UK some severe weather. In the cold air, snow gets right down to sea level, but it's not cold everywhere. So the south of the weather system, we see snow falling to about 2,500 metres elevation. You'd need to go up a mountain that tall to see snow. In other words, we are more likely to see rain. And that dividing line between the cold and the mild is super sharp and super important. For Sunday then, it's where we see the snow become slow moving and persistent that we're in real trouble. In the south, any snow turns back to rain as that milder air works in. Potentially a spell of freezing rain for a time in the hills of North Wales, making for some very icy conditions. But where we see the biggest accumulations of snow over the hills, we could be looking at around 20 to 40 centimetres, enough to cut off some communities this weekend.